Hi everyone, this is Robert. Welcome to In Deep Geek. We have reached the finale of Season 4 of Sherlock. But what was really going on? And what was Eurus really up to? We pick up this episode a few days after the end of the last episode. It turns out that Eurus, who had been masquerading as John's therapist, did shoot John, but just with a knockout dart. John evidently told Sherlock about what she had told him, and Sherlock then takes a rather bizarre approach to extracting a confession from Mycroft, involving a girl running through his house, a mannequin, and a clown, and Mycroft eventually admits defeat, telling Sherlock and John about Eurus. She is indeed Sherlock's sister, a year younger than him, and off the scales cleverer than both of them. She was put into an institution at a young age after burning down their childhood home, and Mycroft had her moved to a secure location once he had achieved a position of influence in the British government, telling their parents that she had died. Sherlock, meanwhile, had blanked her out, apparently as the result of another childhood trauma. The three of them head off to the Secure Institute, an island named Sherrinford, to discover the truth about whether Eurus really had escaped. They go undercover. Sherlock goes to find Eurus, while Mycroft and John deal with the prison governor. The truth soon comes out. Eurus has managed to take control of the prison, messing with the minds of everyone she comes into contact with. The glass cage Sherlock thinks she is locked inside is just an optical illusion. She is free to come and go as she pleases, and it is immediately obvious that what she wants is to play a game with Sherlock. And the game she wants to play is a dark one. She puts Sherlock, Mycroft and John through a series of rooms with a test in each. In the first, she tells them that either John or Mycroft must shoot the governor, or his wife will die. They refuse to do it, so the governor kills himself in a vain attempt to save his wife's life, only for Eurus to kill her anyway. In the second, they have to solve a murder using only the murder weapon as evidence, and by looking at the three suspects. They pick one, and then Eurus kills all three suspects regardless. Then she makes Sherlock call Molly, and try to make her say that she loves him. If she doesn't, says Eurus, a bomb will go off in her flat. Molly says it, breaking her heart to do so, but Eurus reveals that she was lying about the bomb. All through these tests, pressure is being applied through an on-off telephone conversation with a young girl, who is apparently the only person awake on an aircraft that will surely crash when it runs out of fuel. And we also discover what went so wrong with Eurus's imprisonment. Firstly, the governor couldn't resist talking to Eurus himself, despite Mycroft's express orders, opening himself up to falling under her control. And secondly, Mycroft used her amazing intellectual abilities to save lives, predicting where terrorist attacks would take place. In return, he gave her presents, most notably 5 minutes alone with Jim Moriarty. But I'll cover that in another video tomorrow. Eurus's game comes to a head when she instructs Sherlock to kill either Mycroft or John. Mycroft tries to goad Sherlock into shooting him, but Sherlock refuses to play the game, instead turning the gun on himself, and Eurus calls an end to it by using stun darts once more before Sherlock can go through with it. She then transports Sherlock and John to the Holmes family home that she had burned down. John is trapped at the bottom of a well and discovers some bones. Meanwhile, Sherlock rushes to solve the riddle that his sister had made up when they were children, that she puts to him afresh now. This is where the real, horrific truth comes out. The bones at the bottom of the well are that of a small boy, Sherlock's best friend as a child. Eurus had wanted to play with Sherlock. In her mental instability, she eliminated what she thought was the barrier, Sherlock's friend, and made up a rhyme, a riddle, a game that would lead Sherlock to her. It finally does all these years later, as Sherlock solves the final problem and finds her in her childhood bedroom, where she'd been waiting for him. And the game, it's not just a game. It's her cry for help, The poor, brilliant, talented girl Eurus had just never grown up. She had never got past wanting to play with Sherlock, wanting him to love her, and the pain of being snubbed by him. Her mind created the girl in the aeroplane, and she acted it out as a metaphor for how she felt, alone, intellectually far above everyone else, in need of someone, Sherlock, to reach out and help her. He does. Now he gets the chance as a grown man. In essence, Eurus had recreated the situation from her childhood, waiting in her room for Sherlock to solve the riddle while his best friend is trapped in the well. This time, Sherlock recognizes her cry for help and goes to her. And Eurus, having finally got what she always craved and needed as a child, has no more need to play, and John is spared the fate of that little boy all those years ago. The loss of Sherlock's best friend as a child made him the man he is today. He blocked out the memory of Eurus and of his friend, who he reimagined in his subconscious as Redbeard, a dog, to lessen the pain. And he developed an inability to emote with others as a defensive mechanism against the loss of another person close to him. This was a dark journey into the human soul, and of the impact that traumatic childhood incidents can have on anyone as they grow up. But we end the season, and perhaps even the show itself, with a glimmer of hope. Sherlock's parents get to see the daughter they thought dead. Eurus gets to play the violin with the brother she always loved. And Sherlock, well, I think he was affected immensely by what happened. He calls Greg Lestrade by his first name, asking him to look after Mycroft. And as this shot from the montage shows, he now seems to take genuine enjoyment from playing with baby Rosie. Perhaps this is the moment that Sherlock himself starts to recover from the trauma he suffered all those years ago. I hope so. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you want to see more like this one, please click on the subscribe button. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, please check out my Patreon page. Thanks again. That's all for this time. I'll see you again real soon.